So, what makes some people and small business owners be successful while others seem to constantly struggle and not get things going their way? I'll be honest, there's probably a lot of different reasons for that. But what I wanted to do today is share with you 5 common traits that I find with successful business owners and what makes them kind of tick to why they constantly seem to be having win after win and things always just seem to be working out for them. What I have found is it's not necessarily luck. It's not that they have some secret. It honestly comes down to several key characteristics and character traits. And what I want to do today is share with you guys 5 of, it's not the top 5, it's not the most common 5, it's just 5 that I see with almost every successful business owner I've worked with, been mentored with, or just friends and associated with. Too often, what I think people think is that there's some mystical thing that they do, or they were just dealt a better hand in life. But what I have found is time after time again, that it kind of comes down to a few key character traits. And these are some of the ones that I'm not saying I've perfected, but I'm working on these as well as I continue just to grow and develop myself. But here's the first thing that they do. The first character trait that successful business owners all have is that they are obsessed with getting and giving a positive return on an investment in all that they do. So obviously that means they're wise with their investments and their finances. But what I've realized is that it's so much more than that. It comes down to how they deal and interact with others. And it's not just people that they're doing business with, but it's anything from the waiter at the restaurant to their spouses, to their family, to their friends. Anytime they have an interaction with somebody, they always go with it with a servant heart and seeing how they can positively impact and add value to those that are around them. It means much more to them at a bigger level, because with that positive ROI, what that also means is things like their trust. They want to make sure that they are giving people a positive return on investment on the amount of trust that they give to somebody. If somebody gives them their time, they want to make sure that they're giving a positive return on an investment to their customers, to their clients, to their employees that they have working with them. So that way they're always getting and giving a positive return on investment with all that they do. They are obsessed with getting and giving that 10x return on everything that they do, and it just makes them level up their thought process in how they go about their life. Second key trait that I see that is common amongst successful small business owners is how they view themselves. They don't view themselves as a victim. They see themselves very much as a hero on a mission, very purposeful, and they live a purpose-filled life. And you can see that within all of their actions that they do. They don't believe the mindset of more of a fixed mindset to where, oh, these are just the cards I've been dealt. They see any challenge or obstacle as an opportunity to learn from or get better. And they believe that they have control over their lives. And you can tell that just by the words that they speak. You know, I shared this verse last week, but Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit." One of the things that I've realized with these successful business owners is they understand the power of their words, and they're very careful on what words they speak, but also what words they allow to be spoken over them. They don't blame other people for their circumstances. They take responsibility, and they're very careful with those words that they speak over themselves and have themselves spoken over themselves, because they are a hero on a mission. Number 3, and this is a big one, they don't sweat the small stuff. How often do you see people where just a little thing happens to them and they just blow up and they seem just to lose it all? Those typically aren't very successful people. You know, if you look at some of the most successful people in business, they're very calm under pressure. They know how to respond whenever things go kind of off the rails and not according to the plan. Is they know how to stay calm and respond to things during stress. Not everything is a big deal to them. They learn that, again, if something doesn't go according to plan, that's just an opportunity to adapt and pivot the plan in the situation and not let everything collapse in. Because remember, going back to point number 2, they're not a victim. They see that they have the ability to control and influence their situation. So they're going to make sure that they do that, and they're not going to have drama. You're not going to see very many successful business owners talking bad about people and putting other people down. There's something, a quote that I saw the other day that said, you will never see somebody that's successful putting down somebody that is beneath them. Like, for one, you're not going to see it at all, but typically that's just something that I remember. It was, the internet cannot be a kind place. And whenever you're seeing comments on things, whether it be blog posts, emails, and content and everything like that, nobody's going to critique you that is more successful than you. So that's one kind of a side note thing right there, just to know, is that when those words and attacks come, one, they're not going to be coming from successful people, but also just don't let that break you down. Because again, remember, point number 2 for being a successful business owner is be careful and guard those words that are spoken over to you. So, okay, recap real quick. Number 1, they are obsessed. Positive. These are the 5 traits, not the 5, but 5 traits of successful business owners. Number 1, they are obsessed with giving people a positive ROI on all they do. Number 2 is they do not see themselves as a victim. Number 3 is they do not sweat the small stuff. And number 4 is they have a feedback system in place so that they can get and give coaching and criticism. They're always looking for feedback. Again, throwing another Proverbs at you. Tons of wisdom there, especially if you're a business owner. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Remember, the big thing with successful business owners is because they are obsessed with giving that ROI and they're very cautious about the words that's spoken over them. They also do see that it is important to have somebody, coaches, mentors, associates, and colleagues that can speak into their life and give positive feedback to them. Because feedback truly is a gift. If you go through and you think that you've got it all figured out, I'm going to let you know right now, you don't have it all figured out. You need some type of routine where you're getting feedback from a trusted advisor, colleague, coaches, mentors, something like that. Because if you don't get feedback, you are not going to get growth. But this is where, again, going back to point number 2, you have to be very cautious and guard the people that you allow to speak into you and over you. This is the 3 things you need to do to make sure that these feedback loops are set up properly. So 1 is you got to choose the right people. These are people that have your best interest at heart. You shouldn't look to and seek to get feedback from anyone, especially don't ask for feedback for on the internet, people that don't know you and stuff like that. You want these people that actually have your best intentions at heart and they actually know you and your character. They're just not people on the outside looking in, but these are people that you can actually trust to speak into you in a loving and positive way, because they truly want to see you succeed. Second thing is you have to make this a scheduled appointment. You just can't be, randomly, hey, Dave, you mind telling me some feedback on how I can get better? And no, it has to be intentional with that. So if it's intentional, that means it has to be scheduled so you have an opportunity to get those feedback loops. And it has to be put on your calendar. I had a coach and mentor. He always says you schedule your priorities and you prioritize your schedule. So this should be something that is very important for getting feedback so you can grow. So it's got to be scheduled on your calendar. The third thing is I do think that it should not be super structured as far as these feedback meetings, but there are certain key things that you want to make sure, as far as like some benchmark questions, that you're rehearsing every single time. Some of the things that I like whenever I'm getting feedback from my coaches and mentors and advisors is I want to, one, always let them know what goals I am currently working on, because I want somebody that can hold me accountable and then also look for blind spots. I'm not going to be seeking out feedback from somebody that isn't at least at or above the level that I'm trying to get to, because they're going to not be able to recognize possible obstacles and blind spots that I'm not even thinking about yet. I also want them on these feedback sessions to hold me accountable from the previous ones. That's where it's important not to go to somebody different every single time. I want consistent feedback with everything that I do. So Last little subtopic on that. One other question that I always want to ask during those meetings is, what am I missing and what questions should I be asking? Tony Robbins, I know that this is probably from somebody else, but one thing he's pretty popular or known for saying is, you ask better questions, you get better answers. I love that. And that's changed very much the intentionality of how I ask things. And then also how I just work with my clients and the questions that I ask them. But I want to ask my coaches and mentors, what questions should I be asking? Because oftentimes, I honestly will see this with my own clients that I work with marketing consulting, is they're asking not the right question. They might be wanting to know, like, what should I send in this email, versus a better question of, how can I effectively communicate in all of my contact points with my marketing message? And so by asking that question to my mentors, they will kind of also step back and look at it from a different perspective, and they will give me feedback on questions that I should be asking them, which is really, really good. So, that was number 4, which was they have feedback loops for criticism and coaching. And number 5 of the successful traits that I see, or the traits that I see for successful small business owners, is they know how to properly engage conflict. Again, rocking out the Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Successful business owners, they know how to properly engage conflict. And one thing that was shared with me by a coach one time is, as I was having an issue with an employee, and I knew the person needed to let go, but I was just delaying it, putting it off. And he said, Sean, most of the stress that you're dealing with right now is going to be resolved with a 5-minute awkward conversation. I just kind of sit there and thought about it. I was like, oh, wow, I'm putting off all of these things just because I didn't want to engage in the conflict, because, we in our heads will think that it's going to be this bigger deal than it often typically is. But when you know how to properly engage with conflict, it becomes one of those things that where you don't fear, but you see it as an opportunity for growth. You're going to learn from the conversation. 3 quick things anytime you have interactions with anybody that could be confrontational and there's going to be conflict around it. Number 1 is always be calm. You don't want to overreact. Remember, successful business owners, they're not into drama. They're very cool and calm under pressure. And we want to make sure that we're going into these situations not in a heated environment, but maybe if there is a conflict that arose, we're taking some time to calm down so we can come back into the situation calmly, and we're not going to explode while we're doing it. The second one is be honest. If you've started, ripping off the Band-Aid and you're having these hard, tough conversations that you are engaging with this conflict, now is not the time to beat around the bush. You want to be direct with it so you can solve the problem, so it doesn't seem to get resolved on the surface, but that deeper stuff is still there. You want to make sure that you are very honest with the person. But when we do that, we want to do that the third way, is we want to speak with love. We don't want to come to this conflict with our employees, with our staff, with colleagues, and come to them and attack them. We want to make sure that we do everything that we do in love. Because remember, soft word stirs up, or a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word turns up anger. So we want to do it all in love. So guys, 5 traits of successful business owners. Quick recap is: 1, they're obsessed with giving people a positive ROI in everything that they do. 2, they don't see themselves as a victim. They see themselves as a hero that is on a mission. They're very mission driven and purposeful in all they do. 3, they don't sweat the small stuff. They know what things should have their attention and what things they should just roll off their shoulders. 4, they have feedback loops and systems so they can constantly receive criticism and feedback so they can improve. And 5, they know how to properly engage in conflict. So hope this video added value, guys, and gave you some things that you could think about for yourself and how you can implement those into your own life and your own business so you can continue to be successful and you can dominate in all that you do. And if you want to continue dominating, guys, we have this free marketing report. The link's right down here at the bottom, guys. It's seangarner.co/marketing report. These are some of the characteristics of what it takes to be successful, but there is a ton of things that you need to make sure you have in your marketing if you want your business to be successful and dominate your industry. So you guys go to seangarner.co/marketing report. You can see you're going to take about a 5-minute assessment. It's going to ask a few questions about your business, things that you already have in process, and it is going to send you an awesome, detailed, and customized report of some things that you can start taking action on today to see your business grow. So check it out, guys. seangarner.co/free marketing report. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you soon.